It's Myles Garrett. Look at the squad we've got rolling today. Plus, of course, with the NBA Finals starting tomorrow, we're loaded up with that. Allen is here. Jay Will is up early. The Windman is up early. We will get to everything today. But no question, our first stop is Hollywood. Los Angeles, home of the NFL's latest blockbuster, is the Browns. Trade the two-time Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett, to the Rams for Jared Verse and multiple draft picks. You'll recall that Super Bowl 61 is set to be played at SoFi Stadium in February. The Rams, again, going all in, living by their mantra of F them picks and trying to repeat history. Last time the Super Bowl was played there, they won it. They're looking to do it again. Here are the details. Rams get Garrett. Browns get the 2024 Defensive Rookie of the Year in Jared Verse. Don't sleep on him. He's a terrific young player. They also get the Rams' first-round pick next year, a second in 2028, and a third in 2029. The man who broke the story yesterday for us, as always, is Adam Schefter. Shefty, we're all sitting back and listening. Take us through it. How in the world did this happen?
Let's go back and start out in 2022.
Wow.
Oh, 2022, which is the first time that the Rams began calling the Cleveland Browns to try to trade for Myles Garrett. And they didn't let up. Remember all those stories about the Rams trying to trade for the Carolina Panthers pass rusher Brian Burns, who they wound up dealing to the New York Giants? Well, that was after the Cleveland Browns kept telling the Los Angeles Rams no about Myles Garrett. But then, in March, the Cleveland Browns restructured Myles Garrett's contract, and they pushed back his option bonus payments from the time in March to the week before the regular season. What that means to the fan is that the Browns or any team that has Myles Garrett don't have to pay his bonus until right before the season. So if you're the Browns, you could trade him the entire offseason and not have to pay the bonus. The acquiring team would have to trade him. And as soon as teams around the league saw that that contract had been restructured in that way, there were two of them that called me. And they said, Myles Garrett is being traded. The Browns refused to acknowledge it. We're steadfast in saying we're not trading Myles Garrett, but there were people around the league who believed they would, especially the Rams, who kept calling and offering picks, and the Browns refused to budge until the Rams included the two-time Pro Bowl edge rusher Jared Verse, who was a player that the Browns loved, coveted, wanted, and viewed as a potential replacement to help offset the loss of the two-time Defensive Player of the Year. And let me throw in one other factor that I think lingers out there. Let's go back to maybe the most important play of the NFL season last year, when Zach Charbonnet, on a Thursday night Week 16 game, recovered a fumble in the end zone against the Los Angeles Rams to win that game. That game won the Seahawks the NFC West. That game won the Seahawks home field advantage. That game meant that the NFC Championship game was played in Seattle, and the Seahawks won that game and went on to win the Super Bowl. When the Rams felt that they were every bit as good as the Seattle Seahawks. When the Rams didn't win that game, they went into this offseason hell-bent on making moves to dethrone the Seahawks. And that led to them trading a first-round pick for Trent McDuffie, the cornerback from Kansas City. And that led to them continuing to badger the Cleveland Browns until they finally relented and traded Myles Garrett to the Los Angeles Rams yesterday.
And so there we go. The entire story from the very beginning. Fill in whatever holes. What have you been hearing yesterday?
When I talked to Sean McVay, communication is so paramount for him with these players. He says the greatest regret of his career is not giving Jared Goff the heads up that that trade was going to go down in 2021. And Jared Goff finding out from an Adam Schefter tweet, and Jared Goff being the last one to know that he had just been shipped off. Communication has been key with multiple people around this trade, but it does start with the Ty Simpson selection in a way, because they wanted to make sure Matthew Stafford was well aware that they were taking a quarterback in the first round before Stafford saw it when being shocked and seeing it the night of the draft. So in those conversations with Stafford, they told Matthew, they said, one, we're going to give you an extension. You're going to get paid. You're going to be paid handsomely. Don't worry about the money. That'll take care of itself. Two, we are not done. Just because we take a quarterback in the first round tonight does not mean we are done giving you the pieces that you need to get over the hump and to get this team there. They had already gotten Trent McDuffie. That piece ends up being Myles Garrett. They didn't know that at the time, but that was exactly what it was going to take for them to say, hey, Stafford, don't worry, we're making it happen. And I would also add communication. Yesterday, this thing was going, and it was kind of happening rather quickly. They called an emergency meeting, and they got the entire team in there in Los Angeles, and they made sure to tell the team, and specifically Jared Verse, head-to-head, man-to-man, in person, you're being traded to Cleveland. As jarring as that might be, but they got it out there before Adams' tweet, before the trade was announced, and before everyone else could react. Jared Verse did know ahead of time, and McVay said that was very important because for as much as we love Myles Garrett and they're doing flips over him, Jared Verse is a beloved Los Angeles Ram, and that was a hard, hard farewell, and Adam's absolutely right. Until he was thrown into the mix, Cleveland wasn't going to do this trade.
Okay, so, D Wood, I always turn to you for this kind of thing. Give me one word to synthesize the significance of the Rams getting Myles Garrett.
Seismic. This was seismic. I was literally on my way to Costco, and that alert pulled me over on the side of the road because I couldn't believe what just came across. And you know, anytime you deal one of the best players in the history of the National Football League, it literally tilts the field for the Los Angeles Rams. Before the trade, I thought the Rams were my favorite, but then you add a player of Myles Garrett caliber. And it's just like, wow, like they really do believe in the them picks that we're going to go all in on this season. And when you look at what happened last year, particularly down the stretch, their inability to get stops. Yeah. What is Myles Garrett? He's a closer. That's what elite pass rushers do. The Los Angeles Rams they don't have any problem scoring points. They can do it with the best of them. But you got to be able to close the deal, and that's what Myles Garrett's going to bring to this team.
It's funny because I, too, was at Costco when this happened yesterday. No, I'm kidding.
Just getting all those Crest 3D whites.
All the seismic amount of stuff at Costco.
I was playing golf. I don't even know where Costco is, but that's a whole other conversation. So what does this, it almost feels like too obvious of a question.
Yeah.
But what does this make the Rams now as we sit here June 2nd heading towards the season?
On a piece of paper right now, the Rams are absolutely the best football team in the NFL. There's not an analyst that's going to come on TV today and say anything opposite of that when you look at what...
Guess what? The NFL, as it usually does, got it right. Because who was out in front of this? Who felt like they knew something? The NFL scheduled the Los Angeles Rams for 7 primetime games this year. Did the NFL know the Rams justified the NFL's decision yesterday? Although it was justified well in advance, now we all get to watch Myles Garrett 7 times in prime time.
I'll tell you what it reminds me of, and it's the older fans will certainly remember this, and it's from a different era. So this was a free agent signing, not a trade. It was maybe the first significant free agent signing in NFL history, because free agency was a brand new phenomenon. But when Reggie White went from the Eagles, in the prime of his career to the Packers, because God told him that was where he needed to go, that it changed everything. And they had the quarterback in Brett Favre. They were ready to go. They added Reggie White, and they won a championship. The first time they had done so since, the Lombardi era. That's what this feels like.
Well, the Rams in 2021, the last time the Super Bowl was being played at SoFi Stadium, spent that offseason upgrading quarterback and trading for Matthew Stafford.
Right.
They won the Super Bowl. Super Bowl's back at SoFi and ESPN this year. And the Rams, once again, with the Super Bowl back on their home field, made another huge blockbuster. You can make the argument maybe the biggest defensive trade in NFL history.
Okay, we're gonna have a lot more on that deal, including why he may not be the best player the Rams acquire this offseason. But we also had this. in New England. Yesterday, the worst kept secret in the NFL.